What's going on, everyone? So, what is going on with LeBron James and Anthony Davis? They have not really been performing up to their usual standard, right? Even in the Phoenix Suns game, you had Anthony Davis, who did have 21 rebounds, so I give him credit there, but he was 4-12 from the field, had 14 points, just not the best game. He did have 3 blocks. He wasn't like terrible. He wasn't atrocious, but it was kind of like he was just out there for the sake of being out there. Same thing with LeBron James, right? 6 and 19, although his 3-point shooting has picked up the last few games, which is good. He's shooting 40% over the last like 4 games or whatever. So that hopefully is a good sign going forward. But still, 16 points, 6 and 19 from the field. He had 5 turnovers, but LeBron's always kind of been a high turnover guy. Just didn't really seem to have it. Same thing happened with the Lakers in the Clippers game, right? In the Clippers game, you saw LeBron James had 3 points in the first half, had arguably the worst half of his career, was absolutely atrocious, just didn't look like himself. And then in the second half, just turned it on randomly and ended up finishing with 33 points, scoring 30 in the second half, and looked like superstar, best player in the world, LeBron James. Anthony Davis chipped in with 17 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal. So he really filled the stat sheet and was 7 of 14 from the field, but just didn't really seem dominant. And it was just kind of this question. And then the Jazz game, right? Yeah, the Jazz game where, Anthony Davis, yeah, he had 21, 14, and 6, but it was a very quiet 21, 14, and 6. And then LeBron ended up finishing with 37, 5, and 6, but again, it was just like there was no urgency. There was nothing that really no takeover. It was like we kept letting them hang around. Same thing with the Phoenix Suns. We kept letting them hang around. And it's like the Lakers just haven't really been able to get up these last few games, and that's been a big concern. And look, scheduling has been a big thing, right? They've played, 5 games in 8 nights, and then they had the back-to-back, and one of those games against Utah went into overtime, and even still, they've played 3 games in 4 nights, and now they got to play again on Sunday, and then that will be the end of the season, and it's just, there's a lot, right? A lot of wear and tear. Lakers have had quite the uphill battle to climb. LeBron James and Anthony Davis haven't been healthy. They're still dealing with injuries, including D'Lo, although D'Lo looked great the other night. But regardless, got injuries. LeBron, he needed to have season-ending surgery, apparently, and managed to see the LeBron James of foot doctors, and some miracle cure happened, although LeBron himself has said that, that he may end up having to have surgery in the offseason and that his foot's kind of bothering him. Anthony Davis, we know he's still dealing with the injury. He said that he's pain-free, but the injury still exists. It's still there. And so there's questions of what is going on with these two? Are these two going to be able to hold up? Now, personally, I think they'll be okay. The Clippers game, look, we put up a much better fight in the second half, really picked up the intensity, but that was just a bad spot to be in, right? Again, playing on a back-to-back, 5 games in 8 nights. It was a rough spot. A lot of wear and tear. And we still, on several occasions, felt like we could get back into that game and win it. So that's a good sign. That's a good thing. Outside of that, these teams, the Jazz, the Suns without their stars and all their guys, the Lakers are just coasting. The Lakers pretty much have the 7th seed locked up. All they got to do is just win against the Utah Jazz. So their goal is to let's just get out of this game healthy, right? And we've seen other guys step up. We've seen other guys play well. But I want to see our main guys play well together. Like, we haven't really seen a game with all 3 of these guys playing well, right? Like, we've had games where, D'Lo has played really well, right? Great example was last night, right? D'Lo had himself a game. Same thing with Austin Reeves. Beasley really picked it up. We'll talk about them here shortly. But, D'Lo, even that one Knicks game, right? D'Lo had 33 and 9, and Anthony Davis just didn't show up. And it's same thing with LeBron. You have like LeBron will have a 33-point game and AD will have like 15 and 10 or something like that, right? Or AD will have a 30 and 15 game and LeBron will have like 12, 8 and 8. And it's just like, that's good, but I want to see these three really all full form together. We're there. It's the play in a couple days. Like the play-in starts on the 11th. We are 3 days away from the play-in. It starts Tuesday. And I'd like to see that playoff level basketball, right? You don't want to start developing bad habits and think like, okay, well, we can turn it on at any time. And like, yes, maybe you can, but you don't want to end up getting into a spot where now you're in the play-in, you're going up against like, let's say the Pelicans, and you're starting off flat. The Pelicans are shooting the lights out because you've been just developing these terrible first half habits, and now you're too far out of reach to where you can't come back, and now you got to go play another playing game. And now it's elimination. You lose, you're out, right? Because that's what the Lakers have kind of done. Even the Clippers game, right? And they've done it a lot since the new team has been put together. They'll start off slow the first half, almost like they're kind of just feeling the other team out. And then the second half, they really lock in. They really get focused. You see the intensity pick up. You see the defensive focus pick up. And then they just, win these games more times than not, right? That's what they've pretty much done. Lakers have the best defense. They have a top 8 offense. They're the best team record-wise in the West since the trade. This is a legit real team. Like, there's no question and doubt about it. But I'd like to see them play a little less to their competition and more of control. I'm not saying you have to go all out and you have to beat them by 30, but, a little handedly, right? Like, get into the game, get established early, push it to 15 and just kind of maintain and coast the rest of the way. If the other team kind of pushes it to like 5 or 6, you push it back to 15 and you just kind of coast that way rather than like be down. Like even in the Suns game, like we were down like 9 at one point. And it's like on several occasions, we were down 7, I know for sure on several occasions. And it's like you're down and you're playing catch up. And then, of course, you just have more talent and you're the better team. So you're able to kind of just, okay, let's flip the switch and lock up and you're going to win. But I would just rather see a little more stability again. But you're seeing guys really step up, right? Austin Reeves has been brilliant. Austin Reeves has really emerged into like that third or fourth guy. There is a real argument that Austin Reeves is our third best player. I still think it's D'Lo, but Reeves is there's a real argument for Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves has just been so good with just his playmaking, getting to the basket, drawing contact, putting the ball in the hoop. The guy has really, really turned it around. And we're going to need that, right? We're going to need him to really pick it up. We're going to need him to be this level of Reeves going forward and into the playoffs, right? Reeves in that Jazz game. Right? He had 28 points, 28 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, and just had himself a game. And then in that Clippers game, right, you had Austin Reeves who had some nice moments, finished with 20 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. So had himself another solid game. And then yesterday against the Phoenix Suns, you saw him again, 22 points and 5 assists. I mean, the guy's giving you 20 and 5 a game right now. And that's the Reeves we need. If we get that level of Reeves and we get the D'Lo that we've seen the last few games, right, where he's given us 17 to 20 points per game and dishing out some assists and just kind of setting guys up and getting guys going. If Reeves, and I'm not saying Reeves has to be a 20 and 10 guy, but let's say if Reeves can just consistently be like a 15 and 5 guy and D'Lo can be like a 17 and 6 guy, right? That is huge. If LeBron James can be LeBron James and Anthony Davis can be Anthony Davis, right? Like that would be massive, not only for the play-in games, but also for a playoff series. Because now you have consistency. Now it's not all on LeBron James and Anthony Davis in a 7-game series. You're going to have a game where, AD probably just has a bad night and Austin Reeves and D'Lo and the other guys can pick it up, right? Or or LeBron has a bad game, and you have Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves, and D'Lo to pick it up. Not to mention the other guys, right? The other guys can chip in, and we've seen that, right? Again, Troy Brown, he's been really consistent. He's had some great stretches. Rui Hachimura is another one that has had some really great stretches. Even last night, he was 5 of 8, 11 points. He's had a really great stretch as of late. He had that 3 or 4 game stretch, and then he had 1 or 2 games where he kind of cooled down, and then he got right back to it, right? And then again, you had Troy Brown. He's been knocking down the 3 ball, especially that corner 3. He's been just lights out in that corner. He contributed with 8 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and he's been rebounding great for the Lakers. He's been a really good rebounder this season for the Lakers. Consistency, 2 steals, guy that can guard multiple positions. Again, I don't need him to be a 25 and 10 guy, but can he give us 8 points and 6 rebounds a game? I think so. You look up his production and what he's done, that's what he's done. Just give us a couple threes a game, knock down 2 or 3 threes a game, and get another basket or a couple free throws, and there you go. You did your part. That's all we need. Start putting these guys together. Dennis Schroeder, have him get a couple buckets here and there. We've seen Malik Beasley has really picked it up, right? Beasley was a huge factor in that Suns game. He gave us 21 points, shot 50% from the field, 40% from 3 on 10 attempts. And just, again, even before that, he's had a couple nice games. The Clippers game, right? You saw Beasley was 3 of 4 from the field and 1 of 1 from 3. I mean, started off shooting hot, and then they just didn't play him. It's like when Beasley plays great, the Lakers don't play him, and then when he plays poorly, he all of a sudden they want to play him, right? And we need him to be consistent. We need him to have his confidence up. We need to see him knock down some threes, right? We need to see him get back into a groove, get back into a rhythm, But I don't need him to give me 20. Can he give us 12? Can he knock down 4 threes a game, right? Perfect. That's beautiful. Now we're there. All of a sudden you got, Reeves with 15. You got D'Lo with 17. There's 32 there. Beasley with 12, right? There's 44. Get Troy Brown with 8, right? Okay, well, there's 52. Schroeder gives us 8. You got, Mo giving us a couple buckets, 4 points or whatever. Winning giving us 4 points. Rui giving us 10 points. Right? Now you're at 70 points, 72 points. And that's not even counting LeBron and AD. So now LeBron goes and gets you his 30 and 8 and 8 or whatever. And Davis gets you his 30 and 15. And now you're talking, we're putting up 130 points per game. That's what we need, that consistency. And then on top of that, you give us our defense. Vanderbilt guarding the best player on the other team. You got AD just patrolling and monitoring the paint and keeping things locked down. Schroeder as our point of attack guard on certain matchups and stuff like that. It just becomes this team effort, this group effort. And again, I'm not worried about LeBron and AD, right? There's a lot of concerns about it. I'm really not. LeBron has always coasted the regular season. There is countless evidence and interviews and just documentation of LeBron giving, 50% effort during the regular season and then ramps it up come playoffs, right? The whole 0 dark 30 LeBron type thing. And so he's shown that he's still got it, especially in that second half of the Clippers game. That was playoff LeBron. We were just so far behind, it was just too late. If we would have gotten that from start to finish, we probably win that game. And then Anthony Davis, we've seen Anthony Davis in the playoffs, right? Every playoffs he showed up. These two guys are still undefeated when healthy in the playoffs, right? I mean, they would have beaten the Phoenix Suns, without a doubt in my mind. They were up 2-1. Phoenix had no answer for AD. It looked like they were going up 3-1. LeBron James is making Crowder look like his son. They had no answer for these two. And then AD went down, and everything changed, right? So I don't have my doubts with these two. I think these two definitely pick it up in the playoffs. I just think, again, they're playing down another competition. I think the Clippers game was just tiredness, exhaustion. You had a team with fresh legs that came out and shot the lights out. And by the time we were able to get our legs under us, it was too late. And then the other games, the Utah game, and then now this Suns game, and very likely the Utah game on Sunday, the Lakers are probably going to do the same thing. They're probably going to coast and just kind of play to play. And then, it'll probably be a tight game till the fourth quarter. And then the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, they'll lock down and they'll win by 10, just like we saw in the Suns game, right? Hopefully this time. I mean, they did the same thing in the Jazz game. The only difference is that the Jazz ended up going on that run at the end and sent it into overtime. I mean, a little bit of luck. Kelly Olynyk hit that miracle, half court bank shot, stuff like that. A couple things just went the wrong way. But even that game, the Lakers just kind of coasted. In the last 5 minutes, they locked down. All of a sudden, they were up 10. And it was a minute 40 left. So I think that'll be the same thing. So again, not really worried about LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I think we'll be fine. The team has stepped up. The team has played well. And that's good for their confidence and their just ability come the playoffs. So I do. I think the Lakers are in a great spot. I don't have concerns. But do you? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you have any concerns with LeBron James and Anthony Davis? Do you have any concerns with this team as a whole? What do you think? Now, personally, I'm not saying that they will win the championship, but I do think they have a real shot. I really do. I really do. But do you feel the same way? However you feel, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comment section.